Welcome back. So today we are going to have that conversation and we are going to talk about those three words that people don't like to always mention, but it got to be done. And those three words are time to heal. Let's get it. So, and today, in this video, whenever you may watch it, whether it's today, tomorrow, whenever. So in this video, we're talking about time to heal. And I thought it was only right that for this, I wear my Malcolm X shirt, which says Malcolm X Legacy. And the reason why is because if you have not seen Betty Shabazz's interview with Reeling in the Year, REELIN, Reeling in the Year. So she did an interview back in 1992, I believe. And she was talking about how she felt about people that wore her husband's things and wore, memorabilia and things like that. And she said that she understood if you wanted to wear something of him, just knowing that doing so, it is feeling his vibration. It is feeling him walking beside you spiritually. But also know that when you do so and when you do wear it, you have to do so in a way that is strength. Strength in yourself and believing in yourself and knowing that you're called for something higher. And to bring that understanding to have not only for yourself, but for future generations. So with wearing his things, it's not just a hat. It's not just a shirt. It's not just, something like that. But it's the understanding the responsibility that comes with it. It understands that you are carrying that with you. And you have to be responsible and you have to be strength. So being responsible, having strength, feeling vibrations. What comes to mind? Healing. For me. Which not. It's a segue anyway. So with healing, oh my gosh, one thing I had to learn is that suppression is not healing. Suppression is exactly that, suppressing. So suppression is the voluntary form of repressing something. It's a conscious process and a decision to push unwanted, anxiety-provoking thoughts, memories, emotions, fantasies, and desires out of your awareness, as opposed to when you're repressing. That is more of an unconscious thing. That is something that, when people have memory loss, they're not consciously wanting to forget, is they forgot. Their mind has a way of a hitting thing, as opposed to suppression, which sometimes with suppression, your mind will hide it away from you and then you have them triggers and they come back up. But with that, so I used to think, not with that, but on this topic. So I used to think that I forgave easily. I'm slow to anger, quick to forgive. That was my thing. I'm slow to anger, quick to forgive. But then I realized when them triggers came up, baby, I realized that I didn't forgive. I didn't heal. So I was slow to anger, but quick to suppress. And I suppressed things because I wanted to move forward. Because I was tired of being mad. Because I was tired of being hurt. Because I was tired of remaining in that place. And so it's like, I'm done. All is forgiven. Let's move forward. I forgive me. I forgive you. Whatever it is. If it was something that I made a mistake. And I was just so tired of beating up on myself. I'm like, I'm ready to forgive. I'm ready to move forward. But I really didn't forgive myself for when I made mistakes. I really didn't forgive others from when they made mistakes. Instead, I suppressed that and I didn't heal from it. And with not healing from it, what happens? That trigger comes up and you realize you really didn't heal. You just pressed it down in order to move forward. And the thing with that is, one, healing is a constant process. It does not, I healed from this, now I'm good, it's not going to come up again, because that's the thing with memories. Memories are going to come up. Memories are going to keep putting you back into the place you were when it occurred, when those actions happened that gave you the memory. put you back into those places and put you back into those events. And it's going to happen. Like, because we are human, because we are on this journey, because we have a mind, we have a memory, and sometimes it brings up the things that we don't want it to bring up. Like, okay, really? So I can't remember my password to this doggone program, but I can remember what happened back 10 years ago on March 26th at 8:36 p.m. Funny how the mind works that way. But how do we heal? People always say heal. You need to heal before you move forward. You need to heal before you date. You need to heal before, you make friends. You need to heal. You need to heal. But no one ever says, how do you heal? Okay, I got it. I need to heal. How do I do it? Like, how do I heal? So, how do we heal? Here's some ways to heal. And with that, just know that it is a process. It is going to bring up things that you'd rather forget. It is going to it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be painful. But at least you know then that when you're ready to move forward, and when that trigger comes up, and when that person says that word, when that person gets back into your face, whatever your trigger may have been, you'll know, because you healed, you are able to better, deal with the situation. So, how do you deal with bad memories? Memories make an imprint on your mind. So the way I like to think of it is you balance a positive with a negative. So when you're having a bad memory, things come up, you're going to, of course, remember the negative. So I think of it as a way of, have you ever seen those pictures? You have the pictures side by side pictures. Like, okay, let's see this. Okay, so we got this side by side pictures. What is wrong, with one picture that doesn't match up? So you're trying to find the different things that is different in the other picture. That's the way I think of when it comes to memories. You have to have your positive with your negative. So when you think of that, and you have the two pictures, which is easier? Is it easier to see the first picture, then see the second picture? Now, what is missing from the second picture that was on the first picture? Or is it better to have them side by side? So now you're looking at the pictures side by side and you're going back and forth and comparing. That's the way I think of it as when it comes to dealing with memories. You have your positive, you have your negative. But if you keep them side by side, you're able to go back and forth between the two. So yes, while this may have happened, hey, remember this happened. Yeah, that happened too, but that same day. But then, so just back and forth, so that way you're not only focused on the one picture you're seeing and the one picture, and everybody's expecting you to cover up with a positive, but you're still right here. You see, this is my negative, this is my positive. I'm still seeing the negative. I don't care how much positive you keep putting behind me, I'm still seeing the negative. But if I'm seeing it side by side, I have something to compare it to. So, not sure if that makes sense in your mind, but that's how I process things. I think of the negative, I think of the positive. Like that morning, my battery went out. When I finally got someone to come and I changed my battery, my tire popped. But also later that night, I was able to have my favorite dinner, my favorite show was on. Just kind of balancing that day and not thinking about the negative. Recognizing your triggers. Not only recognizing your triggers, but handling them. That's how you deal with those bad memories. You recognize something that triggers. You recognize that driving down this road triggers that bad memory because you're remembering the time that you got into that car accident. So that's your trigger, but handle that. Don't say don't as in don't go down that road ever again, because sometimes you may have to, but sometimes the way people do things when it comes to memory is they suppress it, or they know, I'll just avoid that trigger because I know that triggers me and I'll know it leads under this, instead of handling that trigger. Instead of getting to the point where it's like, what? This bad memory happened. This bad thing happened to me. But I'm not going to keep avoiding something in my life because I'm focused on that aspect of it. So I'm ready. I'm going to drive down that road and I'm going to get past that bad memory. And it takes a while, of course, to get to something like that. But that is one way, is to handle your triggers. Realize your triggers, then handle your triggers. And don't let your triggers overcome you or dictate where you go or how you react or how you do things, because that will always be that until you handle it. Writing facts. Writing things down in a journal is another good way to deal with your bad memories, bad emotions, to write it down. I am very much, of course, my book, First I Had to Me, was a lot of my poetry, a lot of things that I was feeling. and just writing it down. Now, of course, you don't have to go publish it and share it with the world. You could keep it in the journal. If sometimes burning things help, I've done that before where I'll write something and then I burn it because it's just that release of seeing it being destroyed. Talking to a therapist also helps. I very much, if you've seen any of my other videos, I'm very much like, talk to a therapist, go to therapy. Don't wait until something really bad happens for you to go to therapy. Just the same thing as with your car. Don't wait until the doggone engine fall out. Whatever. Don't wait until something really bad happens before you take it to get checked. You go for your oil changes. You go for your alignments, your rotations, your yearly things. Different when you reach a certain mileage of different things you have to do with your car. It should be the same way with your mental. Don't just wait until you have a nervous breakdown to seek out a therapist. Yeah, it may seem like this is crazy, nothing's really going on with my life, but it's better to go when you have a grip on things, to go when you're completely just, and now you're trying to, one, put your trust in a stranger that you don't know. Two, now you're at the point where you're trying to release these things that you've held in for so long, or, things like that. By all means, go to therapy when you first start wanting to go. Don't wait until something happens or a trauma happens. Of course, if it takes up to there, or you're finally tired, you're finally tired of suppressing those memories that happened decades ago or a year ago, and you're ready to get it out, by all means, seek a therapist. And I recommend a therapist and not seeking friends, because the thing with seeking friends is, you vent to your friends. Yes, sometimes it feels good after you're done venting to get it out, but one, your friend's not licensed. Two, your friends don't have a plan for you from here forward. They heard you out and it's like, girl, you need to do this, this, and this. Or dude, man, you got to do this, this, and this. But a therapist can actually write out a plan of what you're going to do. You stick to that plan. You're seeing them on a weekly basis or bi-weekly, however much you need to go. And you're seeing them and making sure you're sticking to the plan, and they're holding you accountable, as opposed, again, to you just venting to a friend and you got it off your chest. Now it's like, hey, I told you, but still feel a little angry, still feel a little hurt, still feel a little sad. And now it's two of us that knows these things, but I'm still not moving forward. Okay? So we dealt with our bad memories. So how do we heal? One step to being to healing: be yourself. Become familiar with yourself. Ask what you want. Ask, what are my boundaries? What am I not going to put up with no more in life? What am I wanting from other people? What am I wanting from myself? What is it that I think of things? When you're have like all these things, these memories, these different events that happen in your life, they begin to control your life. They begin to dictate how you react to things. They dictate how, you speak, how you're quick to anger. All of these things get dictated by the different things that you go through. So learn what's my opinion, separate from this happening to me. Who am I? Separate from this happening to me. What do I enjoy? What do I believe? Find out those things with yourself. Love on yourself. Self-love, self-care. Take care of yourself. Like, that is so important when you're healing, when you're going through that healing process. Love on you. Do things that make you happy. For me, for instance, I love to get out and go, hiking through trails. That releases me. That gives me time away from everything, and just to be one within nature and just hear the sounds and the breeze and just walking up trails. And you see other people with their backpacks and they're walking too, and they just like, hey, you're like, hey, and you just, that's it. That's the only interaction. Other than that, it's not no long conversation. It's not putting emotions out there. It's not finding out what's going on with them. No, it's a quick hey, and then you keep moving. And it's that encouragement, like, hey, you're almost to the top. Just doing that. So for me, that is something that I do for my self-care. But find something your self-care. Maybe your self-care, for instance, I have my candles and I have my incense. I do that too. I love to just light candles and just breathe in, just take it in, and just calm my body, calm myself, calm my nerves, calm everything. If that's your thing, then do it. If you enjoy reading, then read. If you enjoy taking a long bubble bath, take a long bubble bath. If you enjoy just going out to the court and shooting hoops, then go out and do that. Like whatever it is that brings you that, do so. Just love on you. Okay? Another next step to healing. Get a hold of your thoughts. Listen, I am not the best to give this advice because I will overthink like a mother. I overthink like a lot. I do. I really do overthink. I live in my head a lot. But get a hold of your thoughts. Balance it out, like I said earlier, with the positive and the negative. Don't allow negative thoughts to overtake your every thought. Like, don't allow that. Balance it out. Put some positives in there. Every time you start thinking negative, think of a positive. If you have to write positive sayings, some people that works for them to write little notes so they can stick it up places so they can see it. So as you're going throughout your day and you start to feel down, you hear that, you see that one that says, hey, you're beautiful. Hey, keep going. Hey, the world needs you. Just different things like that. Do that. Next, let go of the past. Now, of course, like I mentioned earlier, we are on this journey. We have minds. We're going to remember things. So, of course, no one is saying forget the past because you're going to remember, but let it go. Stop living in that place. This is no longer 2006. This is no longer 2017. It is no longer 2020. Like, let go of that. Allow yourself to move forward. Don't allow your guilt, your hurt, your pain, your trauma to keep you in that place of when it happened. Because you know why? It robs you of your future. It robs you of your life. Yes, you are living physically, but spiritually and mentally you're dying. You're slowly dying because you're remaining in that place. So by all means, let that go. Let go of being in that moment. You have to take control of, yes, this happened to me. Yes, I went through that. Yes, that hurt me. Yes, that pissed me off. But you know what? I'm not going to stay there because I'm not going to let that moment, that person, that event keep me from having a future. Keep me in that place because you know what? That keeps you there for the next 20 years or so. And for those 20 years, that's all that's been on your mind. And you never got to live. So it did more than what it did in that moment. That person did more than what they did at that one time. They took years from you. And if that don't piss you off, at least just remember that you have a future. You have a present. Don't let your past that happened in that time monopolize everything else that you could have experienced or would be experiencing. Another way to healing, set realistic goals. Set small realistic goals. It's good to have a big goal, but have small goals written up to it. So our big goal is we want to heal. We want to be healed. We want to be able to move past these things. Our small goals is today and tomorrow and the next day. For this whole week, I'm going to make sure I shower every day. Now, that may not seem like a big deal, but when you're down and depressed and you're not out, you can't get outside of yourself, that is a big deal because it's hard to get up and shower every day. It's hard to get up and eat meals and, or for some people that when they're down and depressed, overeat. It's hard to stop that. So set small, realistic goals leading up to that big goals and celebrate. Celebrate every time you reach that goal. You went a whole week and you showered every day. Celebrate that. You know what? You ate 2 full meals today. Celebrate that. You know what? You threw out your ice cream. You threw out your chips. You threw out your Little Debbie snacks. Celebrate that. Celebrate each time. Feel good about yourself for accomplishing that. And if you fall back, celebrate when you do it right again. So say you went back and bought all them snacks you threw out. Celebrate when you throw them out the next time. Just each time celebrate them small goals. Next thing to healing. Upgrade yourself. If you don't like how you quick to snap, you know what? Upgrade from that. Take that conscious step to say, I'm not going to let this person, this job, this situation cause me to snap anymore. I'm not going to allow it. I'm going to be bigger than that and I'm above that. Take those little steps to upgrade you. Another thing, understand setbacks are going to happen. It's a journey. I wish life was point A to B, but it's not. It's ABCD, ABCD, ABCD. Like it repeats, go, go, repeat, go. So life is a journey. So understand you're going to have your setbacks. But the thing is, when you have those setbacks, do not allow yourself to stay in that place. Do not set up camp, build a house, build a community inside of that setback. You know what? You get your sleeping bag, you slept there for one night, but you're moving forward. You slept there 2 nights, you're moving forward. Do not set up camp, set up a foundation on a setback. And unplug when necessary. That is probably the last advice that I would have when it comes to healing. Unplug when necessary and as often as necessary. So I went through a whole situation. As I said earlier, I thought I was quick to forgive. I was not. I often suppressed how I was really feeling because I was just so ready to move forward. And finally, so I had a situation happen a few years ago, and it came up again and happened again. And it was disappointing because, one, it happened again. So it was disappointing, but also I allowed myself to react the same way. I allowed myself to be triggered the same way I was years ago. And I thought I was over it, and I wasn't. So I had to unplug because I'm like, you know what? Last time I didn't take time to unplug. Last time I didn't take time to heal. Last time I didn't take time to move forward. And that's why this test came up again, and it got me again. It got your girl again. So I was like, you know what? Not this time. I need to heal. So all those things, that steps that I mentioned, those are things I did, but I also unplugged. I unplugged from social media. I unplugged from negative thoughts. I unplugged from overthinking. I unplugged from feeling that I wasn't worthy or I wasn't enough. And I plugged into more self-love. I plugged into doing things that I enjoy doing. I plugged into learning myself. I plugged into just self-care. And it was a lot better. And I realized, like, after a while, certain things I didn't even miss anymore. Like, wow, I never would have thought I could do some things. But I realized, like, I don't even miss this. Like, I used to do that, and I didn't miss it. And I had someone reach out to me like, hey, I haven't seen you on social media lately, and I just wanted to check. And I said, thank you, I am healing. And they were just like, wow, just to even recognize that you needed to heal and to actively take those steps, that is like amazing. And that's the thing, like sometimes when people go through, they like to go through in front of people. They like to find that meme, find that gift that, you know, describes what you're going through, and you get those people that overpost like every single emotion. And so for some people that may be how they deal with it, but when you're doing so publicly, it's harder to do because everyone's adding in their 2 cents. Everyone's adding in their judgment. When you unplug and step away and you, hey, if you want to look up those memes, look them all up. Look up all the different things that goes through how you're feeling. Just don't share those things. Just look them up within yourself, but unplug from that, unplug from people, and just begin to process. Because the thing is, when you are plugged into too many people and you have so many people around you, you have so many voices around you as well. So you can't even hear your own voice. You don't even know your own thoughts. You don't even know your own desires because everyone is feeding into you and feeding into you. Like, say for instance, I'm like, you know what? My favorite color is black. Oh, you look good in purple. No, girl, you look good in yellow. No, I like red on you. Now, all of these feeding into me, and I'm like, well, I guess I do have this purple, or yeah, that yellow do. And I'm forgetting that I like black. I'm forgetting that this is what I like because so many voices around me are feeding into me that I lost touch, I lost touch with me. I'm letting y'all decide my colors. I'm letting y'all decide what look good. I don't even know what I like anymore, and I'm letting my voice become smaller and smaller, and everyone's voices become bigger. That's how it is when you don't unplug, when you go through things in front of people. That's one thing, of course, afterwards to share your testimony, because it's just that, it's a testimony that can be a guide for the next person coming up after you and teach them how to walk on that journey and teach them how to get to their place and that small goal of their healing. But just everybody don't need to know everything, okay? But it's fine to tell people afterwards, share your testimony, because you never know what someone could get from you. My thing that I always like to say is, did it hurt worse when I went through the things I went through, or does it hurt worse to talk about it? And majority of the time, it hurt worse to go through it than it is to talk about it. So don't skip back on holding your story, because you never know who that's going to be a sign for, who's been waiting for a sign, and then they hear your story like, you know what? Not me no more. Not anymore. So thank you guys for watching. Time to heal. Get to it. You got this. You can do it. Repeat, repeat, repeat. If you got to go through the steps over and over again, go through again. If you fall, you forget, get back up, get back on it. Don't stay in that place. Do not camp out. And I will see you guys next time.